Hey guys, Trash Batman 643 here. And today I want to talk about something very close to me. Something that has legitimately changed my life forever. Since I was a little kid, my favorite superhero has been Batman. Batman is my favorite superhero of all time. He literally taught me some of the most important morals of my life as well. So today I want to take a look at my favorite Batman media. I'm setting it up in 4 categories: movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. There is a movie in the TV shows because it's a cartoon, but it's going to be there. And we're going to start off with video games. We're going to sort them from worst to best, and I'm going to just bring it out here that the Arkham series they're mostly the start of the review. So we're going to start with the worst Arkham game, which is still one of my favorites, is Batman Arkham Origins. Arkham Origins is an amazing Batman game. It is fun, entertaining. It's got a lot on the table. It has some of the best boss fights in the series, and it's got one of my personal favorite boss fights, the one with Deathstroke. It is it's easy because it's just normal combat essentially, but it's so much fun because it's visually appealing, is what I'm saying. It looks great. It's like watching like a martial arts movie. They're fighting, they're flying all around, they're beating the hell out of each other. You're countering, you're hitting, you're attacking, you're blocking, you're doing everything. And it is such an entertaining boss fight, and it's so much fun to do. The other things about Arkham Origins is like, the story is great. A lot of people are like, why did you do the Joker? But it's the origin of Batman and the Joker starting their endless fight, which eventually ends in the Arkham series. Arkham Origins is a prequel to Arkham Asylum and all of the Arkham games because it takes place way earlier. What happens is Joker takes over Gotham. Essentially, he dresses up like Black Mask. Everybody thinks Black Mask is dead, but he's still alive. And Joker's got him like kidnapped and shit. It's one of the most like entertaining stories in my opinion. Every time I play it, I just love every second of it. The Bane boss battle and essentially the ending fight with Joker, the one where you just beat the hell out of him in this church. It is so cool because it's like this is the start of Joker's obsession with trying to kill Batman, but he knows if he kills Batman, Joker will be lost, essentially. Now the next game on the list is going to be Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight is a great and a terrible fucking game. I will tell you, I have so much no fun with Arkham Knight, but at the same time, I have so much fun with Arkham Knight. And I'll tell you why. The Batmobile is the most overused piece of garbage in the game. I love the Batmobile. The first time you use it, it's awesome. And then you use it again, and then again, and then you use it 50 more fucking times, and you're like, I'm fucking done, and you never use it. You traverse the city by gliding, but that's one of the awesome things. You can choose to traverse it with the Batmobile, or just by gliding, because they fixed the gliding in this game. You are so much faster. You are literally, it's like you're flying, essentially. Except you're going towards the ground at a slow rate. Now, about the Batmobile again. The Batmobile is fun. Driving through the streets of Gotham and just breaking through shit and running over guys, but shocking them, of course, not killing them, is so much fun. It you're in a tank, essentially. Your Batmobile is a tank. It's actually a tank. It transforms into a fucking tank. You're driving it, and you just feel so much powerful because you can chase down these bad guy vehicles they're just driving and just blow them up over and over again. And it's so much fun. And the combat in this one is way more refined too. It's the best combat in the whole series. With Arkham Origins, it's buggy. The combat is buggy, but in Arkham Knight, it is so fixed and it's so good. A thing, I don't know if they intentionally did it, but this is like a theory of mine. I think that they made Batman's combat faster and more intense because Batman knows this is the end. This is the end. Um, I noticed like in the other games he's a lot more calmer and his combat is a little bit more slow. But in this one, he is beating thugs in the ground, throwing them in lampposts, everything. He's shocking them profusely. And so I think they intentionally made it so you will the gameplay, you're a much more meaner Batman, which I think they intentionally did because it just seems like that. The other thing about it is like the gameplay itself is so much fun. You traverse the city quick, you fight quick, and the stealth is great. The stealth in all these games is really good. Even though the AI is dumb, they have a thing where their heartbeats raise as their friends get, you know, beaten up and stuff. So the next game on our list is Lego Batman the video game. Arguably one of the greatest games ever made because it's Lego. Every Lego game is amazing, including Lego Batman. Lego Batman 1. I like Lego Batman 2 and 3, but they're not my favorites. This is my favorites list. Lego Batman 1 it was one of the best games. It was one of the first video games I owned. I got a PlayStation 2 and it was Lego Batman I had for it, and it was so much fun. I had so much fun beating up thugs. I loved the story, and it was like my comic books turning into Legos on TV. You know, it was awesome. I love this game. I love the cutscenes. They're funny because Lego brings that humor, that funny humor. It's mostly slapstick. The old Lego games, especially. It's mostly slapstick, but it's still entertaining. I love Lego Batman. I every time I pick it up, I will beat it because I just can't stop playing it because it's so much fun. I love everything about the Lego Batman game because it's simplistic, but it's complex at the same time. There's so much like to do in Lego Batman the video game that it's hard to compare. Next game on the list is Arkham Asylum, which was the first of the Arkham games that I played, and I was about 8 or 9 when I played it first. One day, I'll tell you the story of how I got to play it. One day, I got to go over to my grandpa's house, and he had an Xbox 360, and he had this game, Batman Arkham Asylum. I saw it, and I knew instantly that I wanted to play this, so he helped me put it in, and I started playing it, and my mind was blown. I thought, at the time, I still do think of this, it's one of the greatest video games I've ever played. I love Batman Arkham Asylum. It is so much fun, it's entertaining, and I love playing it. I still love playing it. The stealth is great. The combat is amazing. The story is even better. The story is one of the greatest Batman stories of all time. And the boss fights are just okay. They're meh. They're mad boss fights, essentially. But they're still good. The game is just a well-rounded game. The combat is probably it's really good, but it's Stone Age because it was the first game. They haven't refined the combat yet. The combat in Arkham Asylum is very, I shall say, slow because sometimes it just won't work. And then but when it works, it's awesome. It makes you feel like Batman. That whole like thing is that's stupid. No game makes you feel like anything because mashing the X button on an Xbox controller doesn't make me feel like Batman, but it makes you feel like you're playing as Batman. You're controlling Batman. That's what I love about it. He ballerina just fucking spins all over. Guy on the other side of the fucking screen. If you got anything, a combo meter above 5, you're gonna fly over to his fucking head and beat him in. You're going to punch him fucking right in the nose and he's gonna die. Not die because Batman doesn't kill. Alright, the next game on our list is Batman Arkham City. Batman Arkham City is arguably the best Batman game ever made. I have a tie between Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Arkham City's gameplay is more refined than Arkham Asylum. The stealth is more refined and there's more things to do with the stealth. They already have a ton of the things unlocked for you during the game, which makes it better. But the stealth in Arkham City, I think is some of the best. Definitely not as good as Arkham Knight, but Arkham Knight had the best stealth. Arkham City, its story is like Asylum. It's great, but it's fucking revved up by 10 and then shit out by a donkey that just like... It's amazing. I love the story in Arkham City. I can beat it in a day because I can just fly through the fucking game because I know everything about it now. I've played it so many times. Arkham City is my favorite Batman game. That and Asylum. It's always tied between those two because they both are great. Arkham City has better combat, just the more stuff that you can do with the combat. And let's just talk about the Joker. The Joker in the game is great. Joker in all the Arkham games is great. He always holds a key like node. The Joker is my favorite supervillain of all time. He just has this thing to him. It's amazing. Every time I love reading Joker comics. I love playing the games with Joker in them because he's always just the best and key villain. Now we're going on to number 2, movies. This is the second part, movies. The movies are great. I love Batman movies, but there are some actual shitty movies. There are so many fucking bad movies that it's just annoying. So this was harder, so I turned it down to 3. There are only 3 movies that I will be reviewing for this. So we're going to start with the worst one in my opinion because it's a great movie, but it's a bad Batman. And I'll explain why in a sec. Batman 1989. Batman 1989 it's an amazingly shot movie. It's great. It's so much fun to watch. But it is terrible Batman movie. Batman kills so many fucking guys. He guns down people. He fucking runs them over. That's why I hated the second one, Batman Returns. Because he blows up a fucking guy. He straps a bomb to him and blows him up. But Batman 1989, nonetheless, is a great Batman movie. Well, not Batman movie, great movie. It's a lot of fun to watch. They drop a lot of the stuff from the comics, which I don't mind. But it's still a great movie. I enjoy watching it every time because it's like, wow, especially Jack Nicholson's performance. He is great. He's one of the greatest actors ever, and him being the Joker is awesome. Michael Keaton, he's an okay Batman. I will say. Michael Keaton is a great actor, but as Batman, it's just, he's okay. He's okay. But it's still a great movie, and I love watching it every time. The Batmobile, I think, is like one of the best Batmobiles ever. It's just slick. It's cool looking, you know. Every time, you know, Batman drives, you know, that Batmobile. I love that Batmobile. I always wanted one, and I still to this day want a Batmobile. That one would be awesome to own, other than the Arkham Asylum Batman. But yeah, Batman 1989, it's not the greatest Batman movie, but it's a great movie, and it's still one of my favorites. The second movie is Batman Forever. Now, Batman Forever is actually, it's a terrible movie. As Honest Trailer said, it's the worst movie that you've watched a million times, because I love that movie. It's so much fun. I love the camp, because it's not full Schumacher like Batman and Robin. Because Batman and Robin, I hate watching it. But I love watching Batman Forever because of just the performances in it. Like Chris O'Donnell stealing the Batmobile and then playing the Offspring. It's awesome. I love Chris O'Donnell too. Chris O'Donnell is a bad actor, but I love him as Robin. He's just a perfect Robin in it. But and Val Kilmer, he's great as Batman. I actually really liked Val Kilmer. Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, not so much. He's probably my least favorite actor in the whole movie. He's just boring. I like Tommy Lee Jones as an actor. He's a great actor, but I mean, I hated his performance in the Batman Forever. Jim Carrey, on the other hand, is one of my favorite actors ever, and this is one of my favorite movies with him in it. I love watching him be the Riddler. He would have been a great, like, campy 1960s Joker, too. But I love him as the Riddler, because every time I watch Jim Carrey in Batman Forever, I love every scene. I laugh. It's funny. I love him in Batman Forever. The third movie is arguably the best Batman movie ever, and that's The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is one of the greatest films ever made. That and Spider-Man 2. I'll talk about Spider-Man 2 in a different video, though. The Dark Knight is amazing. Christian Bale gives a great Batman. I don't like his voice, though, as Batman. It's just weird to me all the time. But he gives a great performance in that movie. I love it. Heath Ledger's Joker is a genre. It's a genre defining Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker is amazing. He just brings so much to the table. And Heath Ledger sadly passed away before he won the Oscar for that movie. His performance was so good that he won an Oscar for it. And he was sadly dead by the time they gave it to him. And his Joker is just amazing. And the best scene in that movie is the interrogation scene. It's so good because you just get to see both Christian Bale and Heath Ledger sitting across from each other and talking. It's an amazing scene. Now we're going to go on to TV shows. And it's 3, and one of them's a movie, but it's a cartoon, so I'm putting in TV shows. We're going to start with Batman 1966. This is terrible. It's bad. I'm willing to say that it's bad, but it's so much fun to watch. Because it's like, this is what people thought Batman was back in the day, up until 1989. It's bad. It's a bad show. Batman does the dance, which is the Batman dance. I put that's the only footage that I wanted to gather, because I didn't want to sit and watch a lot of episodes. But yeah, Batman 1966 is a great show still. Every time I watch it, it's so much fun because the music is great. I love Burt Ward and Adam West. Adam West is one of the greatest he is one of the greatest Batmans ever, and he's so much fun to watch be Batman. He's not the fittest, he's not the smartest, but he is one of the greatest Batmans ever. And the Batmobile is cool. It looks cool. Alright. Now, on to the second thing. Batman The Dark Knight Returns cartoon movie. This is probably one of the perfect representations of comic to cartoon. This cartoon is amazing. It's so much like the comic that I try to decide if I like the cartoon or the comic more, because they are both great. They are both great. I love it so much. It's interesting to say, but Batman The Dark Knight Returns it's so fun to watch. Watching him and Superman fight, and especially the operating tables where Batman is fighting the mutant leader in the mud. It is so awesome. Batman galloping on a black horse in the night is so cool. Him fighting rioters is so cool. Him beating Superman and faking his death is so cool. It's one of the greatest cartoons ever. You have to watch it. It's so awesome. The scene with Joker at the fair. It's amazing. It's so cool to watch. Even though, you know, Joker guns down a ton of people, it's so cool to watch him and Batman fight for the last time. The last time. Now, on to arguably, not arguably, this is a general opinion of, I hope, every single fucking person on the planet. Batman the Animated Series is the greatest version of Batman other than comics. Listen why. There's an episode called Heart of Ice.
This is how I'll always remember you. Surrounded by winter, forever young, forever beautiful. Rest well, my love. The monster who took you from me will soon learn that revenge is a dish best served cold.
Maybe you've heard it. Heart of Ice won an Emmy when it came out for being one of the best episodes of Batman the Animated Series. There is so much to love with Batman the Animated Series, whether it be the opening, the everything about Batman the Animated Series is great. I've seen every episode over 1 million times because I've just watched it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's not arguably again, the greatest show ever. Greatest Batman thing ever. It's just so perfect to Batman. Mark Hamill's performance as the Joker, who is now the best Joker ever.
The crowd's speechless. Let's hear it for him, folks.
Yay! Gee, tough audience.
Commissioner, I'm here to present you with a small token of affection from me and all the guys doing 25 to life.
Nobody can tell me that. He's not. He is the Joker. Just like Kevin Conroy. who is the Batman in that show and is the Batman everywhere else. There is nobody that can do a better performance than those two. And I'm not saying anything bad about any other voice actor, but those two are so iconic as both Batman and Joker. It's hard to see anybody else do it because it's like, are they going to be as good? And usually it's no. But like people like Troy Baker, yes, there are some great Batman voice actors, but these two are the greatest. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Now on to comics. Comics are what Batman started out as and what he continues to be. Comics for Batman are amazing. There are so many amazing Batman comics. So I'm going to do 4, I believe. And we're going to start with Death of the Family. Death of the Family is one of the greatest Joker and Batman stories ever. Joker got his face sliced off about 2 years prior to the comic, I think. And he comes back and fucking puts it back on himself. And it's gross and fucking disgusting. But it's awesome. It is so cool. I would love to see this in a cartoon or a movie. Because it's so cool. Seeing Batman at his wit's end fighting Joker. Because Joker is finally... He tricks Batman into thinking that he is legitimately... cut the faces off of the whole Bat family. Batman is going insane, but he ultimately wins. And that's what makes it awesome, is Batman just defeats the Joker. And it's one of the greatest stories ever. It's so fun to read. Now on to another great comic, The Dark Knight Returns. I'm going to make this one short because I already talked about the movie, which is so close to the comic. The Dark Knight Returns is great. The comic is amazing. It's arguably one of Frank Miller's best comics ever. Frank Miller, and I'm going to say Frank Miller is really not doing so swell. All-Star Batman, anyone. But, yeah, The Dark Knight Returns is great. The art is really, it's sort of bad, but it's gritty. And that's what makes it look cool. Frank Miller did it himself. And it's so cool to watch Batman, Superman fight, Batman and Joker, and the girl Robin, she's awesome. Carrie Kelly is a great Robin. But other than it being a great Batman story, it shows like Superman being a badass sort of working for the United States and whatnot. And that's all I've got to say about that comic. Now on to, in my opinion, one of the best Joker Batman stories ever is The Killing Joke. The Killing Joke is amazing. It is one of the it's so awesome to read. It makes you just like wonder like what happens one bad day can mess you up the rest of your life. The Killing Joke shows Joker trying to turn Commissioner Gordon into a psycho because he wants to show Commissioner Gordon that one bad day can ruin your life. And he almost succeeds, but Jim Gordon successfully doesn't faze him because Barbara Gordon gets shot and Joker undresses her and takes pictures of her. I know, it's kind of gross, and there's a whole thing where Joker might have raped her. I have no idea. I legit have no idea what to think of that, so I just don't like to. But he shows the pictures to Gordon and makes him go through this scary carnival ride with the circus freaks. It's one of the greatest comics ever. It is so good to read, And I just love it. I love it. It's great. I recommend you go out and watch and read all of these things and play all of these things that I told you about. That is the end of my video. I hope you liked it. Like and subscribe. These are all my opinions. I really enjoy these things, and I just want to talk more about Batman now because I don't know. I haven't really much. I want you to like, subscribe, comment down below, and tell me what your favorite piece of Batman media is. And I know I missed a few, but not everything Batman is my favorite. but I do love almost everything Batman except Batman versus Superman. That can suck a fucking dick. But yeah, tell me what your favorite Batman media is down in the comments. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.